Oh boy, did we receive some pretty juicy leaks today. Now, normally I'm not the kind of person who likes to cover leaks on my channel outside of new boxed content, as I generally like to leave that to the experts. But in cases like this, I'm gonna make an exception. So we have recently received a pretty spicy leak in regards to New World being released later this month, with a leak being brought to us by the one and only Elfo Man, who has finally managed to escape from his prison cell in Konami's basement. For those of you that don't know who that is, it's the guy who normally provides the community with the box leaks weeks in advance, but recently disappeared for a while, so we presumed Konami had finally had him silenced. But no, he has made his return and has provided us with the 3 starting characters and first archetypes we're going to be seeing coming out of Arc 5. Now just before I go into the characters, just a friendly reminder that if you enjoy any of the content you're watching or find any of the content useful, to please leave a like on the video down below and consider subscribing whilst you're down there. I'm getting pretty close to 50k now, so I'd appreciate all the subs I can get. Especially if you're one of the people who has watched multiple of my videos now and still hasn't hit the sub button. Come on guys, do me a solid. Alright, let's get into the characters. First and foremost, let's start with the obvious, that literally every single person was expecting, and I'm pretty sure was actually already confirmed by Konami to be being released. Yuya. Now just for reference, I actually haven't seen the anime at all, so if I pronounce the names wrong or get something wrong with the art types they use, feel free to correct me in the comments down below, as I'm probably bound to make mistakes. So the leak we got for Yuya, just like all 3 starting characters, was his in-game description. Yuya attends Yusho Duel School, which isn't exactly the most popular duel school in Paradise City, but that won't stop him from becoming a great duel trainer? I actually haven't read this yet. Like his father, Yusho Sakagi? When his dad gave him a special pendulum-shaped pendant, he never knew his powers would allow him to become the first ever duelist to pendulum summon, making him a pioneer for a whole new way of dueling with his odd-eyes pendulum dragon by his side. Yuya is ready to swing into action. So obviously a lot of that is just anime mumbo jumbo that you can just choose to ignore. But there was one thing that was very important to note, and that is the confirmation that we will be getting Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon as his ace monster. At some point. Now remember, just because a card is an ace monster doesn't mean it's going to be in a starter deck or a level up reward. Remember what happened with Utopia and Galaxy Eyes, both ultra rare main box cards. So just because the card is confirmed to be his ace monster, doesn't mean it's going to be free, or even guaranteed to be available immediately. Pendulum effect. You can reduce the battle damage you take from an attack involving a pendulum monster you control to 0. During your end phase, you can destroy this card, and if you do, add 1 pendulum monster with 1500 or less attack from your deck to your hand. You can only use each pendulum effect of Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon once per turn. Monster effect. If this card battles an opponent's monster, any battle damage this card inflicts to your opponent is doubled. Now I'm going to be real honest here. I'm going to struggle heavily when it comes to rating pendulum stuff and archetypes, as I have no experience at all with them. So if you want my thoughts on this card, I personally don't see it as being all that great. It does have a search effect which is kind of nice, but the fact it's during the end phase makes it sound kind of garbo to me. But if this archetype is anything like Galaxy Eyes and there's just a bunch of support based around this card specifically, its effect won't even matter anyway. Let me know in the comments TCG players if this card is actually any good, or if it's even run. As for the other archetypes you should expect from Yuya, you should also expect both Magician and Performal Power, as they are pretty active archetypes in Yuya's deck. Sadly, we don't have any confirmation for this, but if we're getting Yuya, it's pretty safe to expect we're going to be getting these as well, especially considering we already have Performal Powers in Duel Links, so it would just be adding more support for that archetype. That and the Odd Eyes archetype is linked with both Performal Power and Magician too, with the archetype having specific support for each other. The next character leaked was Zuzu Boyle. As Yuya's lifelong friend, Zuzu isn't afraid to tell it like it is and put Yuya in check when he goes too far. She's also the daughter of Skip Boyle, the head teacher of Yusho Duel School. She wears a unique bracelet that she's never taken off. Some say she was born with it on her wrist. This bracelet emits a strange power when she least expects it, which often gets her into trouble. But since she doesn't always want to count on Yuya to bail her out, she learns how to fusion summon to protect herself and Yusho's Duel School. God, that's a mouthful. Her ace monster is Bloom Diva the Melodious Choir. So again, we just got leaked a bunch of mumbo jumbo weeby lore stuff, but just like Yuya, this leak confirmed her ace monster, and the archetype she'll be likely receiving support for via level ups and skills. Melodious. Her ace monster is Bloom Diva the Melodious Choir. Cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Also, you take no battle damage from attacks involving this card. If this card battles a special summon monster, after damage calculation you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to the difference between the original attack of that opponent's monster and this card. And if you do, destroy that opponent's monster. Now I'll be very surprised if this card isn't a box card, because unlike Odd Eye's Pendulum Dragon, I can tell you for a fact that this card's effect is pretty damn nice. This card is basically just an Amazonian swordswoman on steroids. It's indestructible, cancer burn, that also comes with removal attached to it. It's absolutely bonkers for Melodious, which, as you guys probably know already, is an archetype we have in Duel Links, so it'll be nice to see some much needed new support added for this lot. Especially considering there's only like 6 more cards that are yet to be released for the archetype, and one of those is a Link monster anyway. The final character to be leaked, and by far the one I've seen the most hype for, Declan. Though Declan is only 16 years old, this professional duelist has been running Leo Corporation and Leo Institute of Dueling, LID, as their president. As one of the few people who know about the existence of other dimensions, he forms the Lancers to protect this world from interdimensional invaders. He not only uses powerful Fiend-type DD and DDD monsters in his deck, he may be the only duelist who have mastered the 4 summoning methods: Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, and Pendulum. Now again, just a bunch of lore stuff we don't really care about, but there are a couple of really important things to note in this guy's text. First of all, obviously this guy's going to be bringing a bunch of DD support to the game, via skills and level up rewards. Sadly though, unlike the other two, there was no confirmation as to what his ace monster will be, so we don't know for absolute certain what any of this new DD support will be. We'll just have to wait and see on that one. But the one thing I wanted to point out here the most is the mention of Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, and Pendulum. As you'll notice, even with just the Melodious character, this world, unlike the last few, isn't just going to be all about one summoning mechanic. This world isn't just going to be pendulums. This world, at least at the start, is going to be a mix of new and old, with a bunch of old archetypes we have already in Duel Links like DDD, Melodious, Performer Power, all receiving support. And obviously, not all these archetypes are Pendulum, or going to be receiving random Pendulum support. These archetypes are Fusion, Xyz, Synchro. We'll be seeing it all from this world, which is great, and kind of explains why Zexal was kind of short, since we're still going to be continuing to see a ton of new Xyz cards released. Honestly, if you guys are going to take anything away from these leaks or this video, remember this. This world is going to feel quite a lot different from the previous worlds we've seen in the past. It's already had some weird scheduling leading up to the world's release that doesn't quite fall in line with the previous years, so I think you guys should expect to see something a bit different to what we're used to, especially considering this world looks to be focusing on all the summoning mechanics, not just one. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this leak video. Let me know what you guys think of the leaks down in the comments below, and whilst you're down there, remember to drop us a like and consider subscribing to the channel as well. Thank you guys for watching, laters.
Hey, big brother, can I watch SpongeBob?
Shut up, Mokuba. I'm busy flagging YouTube videos to compensate for the fact that I have an extremely small penis.
Oh.